Please post for me, Brother Nashi, as anonymous and keep my name as a secret because I want to protect my reputation. I am a 56-year-old woman. I am living in a suburb of Eastleigh. I have been a loyal follower of these confessions for a long time, listening to stories of witchcraft, restless spirits, and the darkness that is in this world. To be honest, I used to listen with a bit of doubt. I thought that some of these things were exaggerated until the day when the smoke entered my own eyes. I am writing this to you because I want to share with you the things that I have seen. I have seen the light and I have seen the truth. We are living in a world where if you kill someone, that person will return back to haunt you, living in a world where people will kill you in broad daylight just because God has given you a blessing. I was the firstborn in a family of two. My young brother and I, we grew up in a small location and we were very poor growing up, but we were happy because unlike some of our friends, my parents in that location, they owned a house. So we had our own spare bedrooms, yet our friends, they slept in the same room with their own parents. My parents, even though they were poor, but they were a hard working couple and they worked so hard to build their house. When our parents passed away, we were already adults. I was establishing my career and I had already purchased my own property. So I made a conscious decision. The family house, I said that it was going to belong to my brother. As the only male child, I made a decision that this was his right and I wanted him to have a foundation since he did not have any formal training or any formal job at all. The house was incomplete when our parents passed away. Because I was the breadwinner and I loved my brother, I used my own savings to extend the house. I added rooms specifically so that he could take in tenants. My goal was pretty simple. I wanted him to have a steady stream of rental income so that he could never have to beg for food ever again. I did not even ask for any shares. I did not put my name, neither did I force him to put my name on the title deeds. I did not want a situation whereby when I am gone, then my children will start to fight maybe with his own children for the house that were built by my parents. I wanted my kids to have their own life and I was going to do that for them so that they will never have to know poverty in their life like we had done when we were still growing up. So I wanted him to never beg anything from me again. So I did it out of purely sisterly love. Eventually, my brother married a woman. When my brother married a woman, my sister-in-law, she came into the marriage already. She had two children from her own previous relationship. One who was in grade 6 and one was in grade 2. I did not judge her. I did not have a seed of jealousy in my heart. I supported my brother's choice because I thought finally the house will have a woman's touch. My brother drinks a lot. He drinks a lot of alcohol. That is why he did not go anywhere far with his education because he started to drink and he was a heavy marijuana smoker when he was still in high school, and this made him to be so dull in school. He did not want to do anything. He became so lazy. So I said, now that my brother is a woman, maybe you will stop smoking and stop drinking, even if he continues drinking, but he won't be an alcoholic like he was. There is someone who is finally going to look after the homestead. I treated that woman with nothing but respect, and I gave him a favor a sister-in-law could offer. I thought that we were a family. I did not know that whilst I was busy working, trying to make sure that I give them a better life by building rooms so that they can have tenants, she was already drawing a list of the people that she needed to be dead so that she can be the owner of the property. True facts. this is happening. If you have your own property, when you marry, be careful, because the person that you might bring into your life is only coming into your life not because they love you, they are coming into your life because they want your house. It is something that people might not understand, but it really happens. You can marry a woman who does not love you, but she only loves you because you own a house, and she knows that once you die and both of you are married, then the house will belong to her and her kids. Most men, they won't even believe this. Even I, when I was still growing up, before I had come across such a situation, I never thought that it was even possible that someone can be that heartless to even kill someone because they just want to own their house. It was quite unimaginable for someone like me. The nightmare, it began, I can say, last of last year. It was in June. My brother, who had always been strong, he started complaining of a cough, but it was not normal flu. He described that there was this thing that was sitting in his throat, and he felt as if there was something that was refusing to move in his throat, no matter how hard he will cough. Within weeks, he stopped eating solids. He survived only on maheu, fermented porridge. I took him to the best doctors in Harare. We ran every test, x-rays, blood work, scans, but the results, they came back clean. The doctors, they were even surprised as to how he was complaining that there was something that was sitting in his throat, but when they will do the scans, there was nothing that they were seeing. As he was wasting away, we began making plans to fly him to India for specialized treatment. But the way that he was so sick, it was just too much. My brother died. This was end of 2024. That was when he passed away. The day we went to collect his body from the mortuary is a day that I will never forget. Do you know that my brother, he passed away? It was in November, but we only buried him in 2025. That was when we buried him. Things that were happening in the mortuary, no one could even understand what was going on. They were failing to release the body because of this thing and that thing. It was just being moved from one pillar to post. So we could not understand what was happening. It was as if he did not want to be buried. We buried him last year. And then when we went to collect his body, he had been in the mortuary for a very long time. So we could not even have a proper body viewing. As we were loading the coffin into the ease, there was a young man that came running towards us. He claimed to be a pastor, and he said, "Stop, don't put that coffin in that car. The man you are burying is not dead. I have been sent to wake him up." We said, "This man, does he even know what he is talking about?" My brother had been in the mortuary for a long time. It was impossible that my brother was still alive, but that man told us that he was still going to pray for my brother so that he can wake up. He insisted that my brother was breathing. That still traumatizes me to this very day. Despite of him being in the mortuary for a couple of months, my sister-in-law, she exploded in a rage that I had never seen. She screamed at the young man, calling him a Satanist, a vulture looking for a free meal from a grieving family. How can a man who has been in the mortuary for nearly 3 months, you are saying that this man is still alive? That man said that he had been sent by God to pray for my brother. To this very day, as a family, we are blaming ourselves because that man said, "You are going to bury this man alive." And we were confused because before we could even react, there were police that had already been called by my sister-in-law. How she called them, I don't know, but she just said that I've called the police, but she had been arguing with that young pastor all the while. We were so traumatized that my brother has been in the mortuary for a long time, and now that his body has been released, they are telling us that he is still alive. One of my cousin brother even said to my sister-in-law, let us just leave this past to pray, because there is no way that brother is going to wake up. Let us just leave him to pray. But she refused. She went to the coffin and she said, I'm not going to allow anyone to open this coffin to traumatize us again. And when the police are involved, then the whole situation will change. So we were taken by the police and they gave us counseling, and they told us that we were supposed to accept the situation. They said that this pastor, he was a fraud. They even said that they were going to arrest him and for disturbing our peace, what in public. And we were so confused by then, because there was my brother lying in a coffin, and there was this pastor who was saying that this man, you are going to bury him alive. He is not dead. I've been sent by God to wake him up. They said he's a madman. So he was chased away, and we drove back home for the funeral. We buried my brother, but when we buried my brother, my heart was even aching, and we said that we have laid him to rest. We did not even know that we were really burying him alive. That pastor, he was telling the truth. The day after the burial, we had to do a traditional process of sorting the deceased clothes. It began, my brother's close friends and our cousin went into the bedroom to pack his things into the bags, preparing for a memorial service. Whilst they were clearing out the wardrobe, they found something which was a clay pot. And when they came back with that clay pot, let me describe what was inside of this clay pot. Inside the clay pot, there was a piece of a red cloth. Wrapped inside the cloth was a traditional knife, those big knives. But the most terrifying part was that there was a piece of paper that they hid. One of the friend, who was my brother's friend, quickly hid that piece of paper. The cousin did not even know and see, and it has been given to me after the funeral. It was a list of names. My brother's name was at the very top. Following his name were the names of the 3 women from the neighborhood. My name is number 5. In total, there are 10 names on that list, and that man's wife's name is also on that list, mostly family members. And when we are looking at these names, these are the names of the people that did not like what my sister-in-law was doing, as if she wanted us to be removed so that she can enjoy her marriage. When my sister-in-law saw that the people that had been sent into the bedroom were coming out holding a clay pot, she then said, I'm a Zexesim. She ran and she grabbed that clay pot. So people were like, since when do people from the ZCC church use a clay pot that has a knife inside in the red cloth? She said, oh, that is what we have been doing. And some people that were there, they said, no, we don't pray like that. This is just witchcraft that you are doing right here. So she took that clay pot and she put it in another room. We then confronted her. When she came out of that room about the clay pot, she did not admit anything. She just said that it is mine. And she claimed that since she was a prophetess, I don't know since when those were tools that she was using in church. She denied after we had confronted him about that paper. So after we had confronted him, then there were people that were on her side and there are people that were on my side. They said that we had forged that piece of paper because it was now about the house. You want to take this house away from this woman since they have one child. They thought that I wanted the house, and I said, no, I do not want a house, because I built this house for my brother so that his children, they can live a better life. But some of the family members, they say that I want to take this house from him. So we planted that evidence inside of the clay pot. We then sought help from a traditional healer. Interestingly, the consultant refused to come to the house. He said, the moment I step into that yard, another person will drop dead. It is like a landmine that is buried there. If we try to bring a prophet into the yard, there is someone that is going to die. So we have been to the consultants traditional place where he assisted us, but this woman has refused to confess because we even went with her, but she has refused, even though the healer said, "You killed your own husband. Your reason was the rent. You wanted to control the tenant's money without your husband drinking it away. Did I know that your husband was an alcoholic? He drank every money that he had. If he saw money, he would steal it and go and buy something to smoke. Am I not lying?" She said, "You are telling the truth." And the healer said, "So why are you denying it when I tell you that you are the one who bewitched your own husband?" The relatives that were there, they started to fight. They said that, "You people, you are lying. You have brought us here to your own traditional healer. We are going to look for our own traditional healer because we do not trust that this traditional healer is telling the truth." So they said that we have already given the information to the traditional healer so that he can accuse my sister-in-law. So everything that has been happening, we thought that we're going to be at peace if she was going to confess, but it has brought war. Right now, she is living in my brother's house. She even have a boyfriend. When I heard about this, I thought that it is a lie because I thought that she was still going to mourn for her husband. The boyfriend, she did not start to have this boyfriend since this year in 2026. No, she started to have that boyfriend since last year. When I was told about this boyfriend, I thought that maybe people were just lying. And I said, there is no way that a woman that has lost her husband, she is already bringing another man inside of her own home into her matrimonial bed with that new man. And I thought that maybe she is lying. And then I went there and I saw that there was a man that was sitting outside drinking his black label. I asked who he was, and then he told me that he was a friend of the owner of the house. And I said, "Do you know me?" And he said, "No, I don't know you, but I have heard about you." And then that was when my sister-in-law came out and she asked me if I was okay, if I had came to see my late brother's child. And I said yes. So I just saw the child and I looked around and I saw that there was evidence that this man is now staying at my brother's house. We started to shout at each other, and then she called the police on me. Yes, she called the police because she is the one who is the owner of the house. The house that was built by my parents now belonged to this woman. The house that belonged to my brother now belongs to her, and she is a man that she is now bringing into the house. What if this man ends up being the owner of that house? I so regret. I wish that my brother had came to me for advice before he had started dating this woman. Maybe I could have looked for another woman, someone that wanted to build a home with him. It is quite something that pains me to this very day that my brother died, and my brother just died for no reason at all because this woman, she just wanted the rent money. If she wanted money, at least she could have came to me. She could have told me that she wants money. I could have sacrificed and given her some money from my own salary instead of him killing my own brother. This is my confession. When you post my story, please tell me. I'll be following through in the comment section. I used to think that these stories, they were just for entertainment. Now I know that sometimes the person that you bring into your own life, they will be the one to kill you or to kill any of your relative. I need someone who is stronger than this woman. She is someone that is using a lot of charms. And I feel as if since my name is written on that piece of paper, I am like a secret, I am like a sitting duck. I am going to be sacrificed. I want to protect the remaining names on that list. If there is anyone that can handle a hard case like this, Pastor or Sangoma, please put their details in the comments. I am following this story closely because my life depends on the next step. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Let us speak with her in the comment section. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. If you have never witnessed such a thing, you'll think that it is just for entertainment. But once you come across such a situation, you'll see that strange things they happen in this world.